Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm Janet Kadow, and this is our live stream with the Spirit Guide. So, I'm going to give messages from your guides, and hopefully, that'll give you a little help. Oops, I'm trying to. Oh, wait a minute. Okay. I turned on my phone so it's easier for me to read the chat on my phone. Anyway, so now I had a feedback. Okay, so what I'd like to open up with today is a little bit about um, the difference between your psychic sense and connecting with your guides. And your psychic senses, hi, Stephanie, welcome. The difference between, so your psychic sense is your intuition, and it can come in different forms: seeing, hearing, feeling, knowing. Seeing, hearing, feeling, and knowing are the most common. And so when you have your psychic sense lit up, um, it's like almost having, high beams on your headlights. Like you can see further down the road, you get a better sense of what's upcoming. Your psychic sense gets a feel for the room if there's any danger, and you pick up on energies through your psychic sense. You may get visuals like images in your mind's eye, and you may get thoughts that come to you out of nowhere. They have no, they don't belong to a train of thought. So they have no connection to anything else you're thinking of. So your psychic sense can come to you that way. You can sometimes hear the words or hear something that's not there. Most people kind of disengage with that psychic sense early on, the hearing sense, because it is very much looked down upon, and a sign can be a sign of mental illness. So a lot of people kind of ignore that psychic sense, and they focus more on the feeling, the hearing, and the visuals, the images in the mind. So clairvoyance is when you get an image in your mind that tells you what's coming. Like if you're suddenly see a picture of your friend in your head and your friend calls, right? Feeling sense is just that, oh, I have a feeling that that so and so is going to call me. And then a thought is, I think, the hardest one to work and develop with, because our thoughts are also connected to the mental field, and the mental field is connected to the ego, and the ego likes to guess and likes to kind of mess with our heads in a sense. And so when we get a thought, we can easily brush it aside and think it's not our intuition. So, but what I would suggest for those who want to develop their psychic senses is, obviously, first of all, work with me. Second, is to examine where that thought came from. Was it random out of the blue, or did you have something leading up to it? So think about that. And also, if you ask your psychic senses, your intuition to give you an answer, pose a question like, what kind of day will it be today? And see how your body responds, your mind responds, or your imagery in the mind responds. Then that'll help you figure out what you have. But for most people, I just ask them to, the last time they got a hit on something, the last time that they had an intuitive hit and they were right, how did it come to you? Did it come to you as a feeling, a thought, or an image? So that's usually the way I go about it. And then once you kind of know what your strongest sense is, then you can build upon that. And what I did when I first started building my intuition, because I don't say that I was born with it. Everybody's born with it, but I wasn't, born with it to an extraordinary amount. I was had a little bit of it that I could nurture and grow it, and I think everybody has that. And so, if you want to grow your psychic senses, you want to um, set up a day when you don't have anything, planned or urgent, and make a little deal with yourself that you're going to follow your intuition no matter what. And even if, what comes up seems like unnecessary, like you're standing in the grocery store and you think you need more butter, um, and suddenly get the hit that you should get more butter, but you talk yourself out of it. I'm sure you've had many times when you've talked yourself out of following your intuition. Um, Instead of talking yourself out of it, just go with it. Just say, okay, I'm going to get more butter. Okay, I'm going to do this. Okay, I'm going to turn that way instead of my usual route. Okay, I'm going to call my friend right now, even though there's no reason for me to. So, once you start following it, it will grow. And if you follow it and it's wrong, then what it was not your intuition. It was something else. It was your ego or something like that. So your intuition is always right. So if you start following it and it keeps showing up as right, then that's obviously your intuition. Your intuition is never, ever wrong. But if you're wrong, if you follow it and you're like, I didn't need more butter, that was ridiculous, that was your ego. And so then you can discern what it felt like when your ego told you to get more butter or your intuition told you to get more butter. You see what I mean? And then you can start getting and developing it on purpose. And a lot of people think that, their psychic senses are kind of wild and they just randomly show up. But you can develop those things on purpose and have discipline around them. And once you start developing them and know how it works for you, then you can ask more pointed questions and get answers. Then you can start getting answers. You can start getting, your predictions will start being right on, and you'll start to know, things ahead of time that you need to know, you know? So I find it fascinating and I love to teach it. That's your psychic senses. In other words, your psychic senses are your feeling, are your, um, they're more predictive, and they're also, about keeping you alive. So they'll tell you when something doesn't feel right and things like that. So that's intuitive senses. But when you're working with your guides, your spirit guides, that's different. Your spirit guides, um, they are your protectors also, but they won't say anything to you that will make you afraid. So I was having a conversation with someone the other day, and she said, "Well, like, why didn't your guide tell you had cancer?" Like, because I had cancer 26 years ago, which I'm alive today because of modern medicine. So that's why I am a big believer. Um, so I said, well, he wouldn't, and agreed, because I had just started talking to my guide. I just started channeling my guide full on, full body, live channel, connected with him 2 months before um, I was diagnosed. And he never warned me. He never said, oh, you got cancer. Sorry about that. Like, um, he never did anything like that. But, and the reason why is not only is he won't diagnose even me, but also he won't tell me anything that would make me afraid. And if he told me that I had cancer before I went through finding out, then I would have been very afraid and I would have been very upset. And so spirit guides will never do that. But what they will do is they will guide you to the right place at the right time to get everything you need. If you ask them for protection, if you ask them for help, if you ask them to help you get everything you need, if you ask them to help you get healthier, stay healthier, whatever you need, then they can be more active in your life. So he made sure that I got everything I needed. And once I found out that I had cancer, I asked him to make sure I get all the best doctors, have the smoothest everything that needed to be done, and to guide me in that direction, and to make sure that everything went about as easily and permanently. So I told him I didn't want to ever have cancer again. So I was very drastic in the treatments that we got. And it is a fact. I have not had cancer again in 26 years. And I have the BRCA gene, so that there usually is a reoccurrence, or many times, or you're more likely to have a reoccurrence with the BRCA gene. Anyway, so I never have had one, and I still have the world's best doctors. So I always tell them, get me the best people, make sure I get all the right treatments, and it works. So that's more how it works, like with your spirit guides. It works more in a way that supports you and helps you through life than in a way that takes your power away or tells you what to do, or even they won't tell you anything that'll make you afraid. Okay, let's get rolling. Enough of my chit chat. Let's have some more fun. So I want to, everyone, poor Jean. Okay, I want to hit on what Jean just said, but for Stephanie's question, oh, her daughter went to college this week. That is so exciting. What do you need to know about this change for her and me? I'm going to go ahead and answer that right now before I read any more of the chat. And what I want to say is, she's a little powerhouse, and I think you know that. I see her being extremely successful. She is going to have her, homesick moments. Just keep encouraging her. She's a funny one. I don't want to tell on her too much, but it seems like she doesn't know how much she loves you. Kids these days. Like, she doesn't know how much you really do for her, or how much you're there for her, or, all the little things that you do that. So I think it's going to be a little bit of a growing period. And what you want to do is just walk her through it. Just help her, just gently walk her through what she needs to do. And I don't think you'll get too many teary-eyed phone calls, but it does look like it might be a little bit tough at first. But once she gets through the first few months, like by the Christmas break, I think she's going to be in a really good place. And you've done a great job with her. She's a powerhouse, and she's going to go take over the world. So she's very impressive. So be very proud of her and keep propping her up. I think you're going to miss her a lot. Obviously, you have a lot to keep you busy, so it's not going to be, you won't have a lot of time to miss her too much. But but you will make the adjustment well. You may have some teary days too, because it's really hard to let go. But again, spend your days being grateful that she's so amazing and that she's doing all these wonderful things, and she will do many wonderful things in life. Good work, Mama. Okay, Jean. I did what you told me not to do, and I answered question psychically for Ian. I feel like I might be ruining our connection. Jean. May I ask what I need to know about the energy between us? Hi, Asia. I'm going to just go down and say hi to everybody before I get to that. Hi, Ishika. How are you? I am good. Okay, so Jean, I want you to ask yourself. So, what the guides are suggesting is that you ask yourself why you did that, why you wanted to ask, do the psychic thing with him. So, for me personally, I had to do a lot of soul searching on disciplining my psychic senses because I don't want to read everybody all the time. And so I had to discipline myself and not do that. And so I think there's a really good answer there for you if you do a little soul searching on why you went ahead and asked that and did readings on him. And I think that'll give you some answers that you weren't expecting. So over the next few days, you probably won't get an answer right now, but over the next few days, ask your guides to help you understand why you did what they suggested you not do. And there may be there's a lot of reasons why that could happen, but one is that, you may be sabotaging a little bit, and have a moment with that and see if that's the case. You may be sabotaging the relationship, or you may be, wanting him to see you as you really are, or you may be, wanting to get to know him better. And for you, that's the fastest, easiest way to get to know somebody and to bring intimacy. But, only you know that answer, but the guides would like you to examine that. And I don't think it changed much in the relationship, but they are suggesting that you don't do that anymore. So, but first we need to know why you did that. And yes, Jean, so a lot of us who are sensitives and intuitives grew up with our parents being a little weirded out by us and shutting us down. And the way they usually shut us down was by saying, "Oh, that's not true," or "You have such a great imagination." I mean, I think I've said before, like, I was told as a kid that I had the world's greatest imagination, and I thought I was the next Walt Disney, honestly. I thought I was like, wow, I have a great imagination. I'm going to be an amazing artist. I'm going to be an amazing storyteller. I thought I was amazing. So that's what my parents said. Such a great imagination. She has such a great imagination. So they'll tell you these things so that you don't trust yourself. I mean, I don't think they're doing that on purpose. I think they're trying to cover their tracks, and like they don't like a little kid nosing in their business, obviously. But so that, think about what your parents said. Your dad said you knew too much. Mine said I had a great imagination. So think about what your parents told you. And if that still kind of stings today, or if that still kind of, keeps you a little small today, like, so it's an interesting thing to think about, like how your parents kind of gaslit you as a little psychic kid. The psychic kids are annoying, you know. No one wants to, know their business. Little 5 years old running around. Anyway. Okay, for Jean, I am going to get to your Okay, so your love interest, I'm just going to call him your love interest, has been telling his best friend, who's a girl, about you and your gifts. And I think that she's pretty supportive, but I can't really read her straight up, but I can ask the guides what they want you to know about that. And it does look like a good, that, there's a positive energy coming from her. So I don't think that's a bad thing. So you don't need to worry about that. Okay, Ishika. How do I see the month of September going for you, especially as compared to August? Anything that my spirit guides want me to share? Want to share, sorry. Hi, Sita. Hi, Regina. What are you doing? Nasa. Hello, my love. Jean. And Jean, I'll get to your next comment in a minute. Okay. Anna. Next few weeks gonna go for you. Okay. All right. Okie dokie. And I pulled this up on my phone and then I thought, so I could read from my phone and not the computer and stop squinting. So, but am I doing it? No, but I'm going to do it now. Anyway, like my new microphone? Thank you so much. I got it for my birthday. Hello, hello. Now I can start my singing career. Oh, wait, I have to learn how to sing first. Never mind. Okay. So, Ishika, you're going to have a much better September, but it's going to be a lot busier. There's more. Now, sorry, I can't remember what you do or anything, but it looks like there's more people around you. Maybe you'll be going to more events or there's more interest in you. I don't know if you're doing anything online, any kind of social media stuff. This is a time for you to shine. So if you're thinking about doing something more public or putting in for a job that you didn't think you could get, it's very much a lucky month for you. And you want to take advantage of that as much as possible. They're showing me like a spotlight on you and you're surrounded by people. Obviously, that may be an exaggeration, but that just means that you're going to be shining your light and a lot of people will notice you that maybe haven't noticed you before. So they'd really like you to take advantage of that energy and, get out there and shine yourself to the world, shine out to the world. Again, if you want to apply for a job or um, do something a little bit daring or start a social media account for, to go public with some things or anything, you're going to get more attention than you think you are. So it's going to be successful, in other words. So you really want to take advantage of that energy in September. I don't know where it hits your chart or if astrology is at play, but it's really going to be a good September for you. Okay. All right. So, Stephanie, you can ask for Nasa if you want. Jean says Scorpio men just ruin my life with all their secretive behavior. Sorry. I hope I didn't do that too loud in the microphone. Okay, well, keep it on the down low now, Jean. Enough. He doesn't need to know unless he asks. First rule of being psychic, they don't need to know unless they ask. So be aware of that. And it's really good for you to uh, be disciplined with your psychic senses. So if someone doesn't ask, I don't tell. And sometimes I get things on people that I shouldn't get, or more information than I should have or whatever. And I don't share it because it's not for me to share unless they need to know, unless they, and the only way that I will know if they need to know is if they ask me. So if the conversation, even if you're, with a friend and you're having a casual conversation and they don't bring up anything on the topic, don't bring it up. But if you're with a friend and they bring up something that you got a hit on before, then you can go ahead and share, well, I do kind of see that happening for you. The other way to do it, which is really great, is to not say it was a psychic sense. So you don't have to say, oh my gosh, I saw this for you. You could just say, huh, you might want to think about doing this. Like, as a friend would, right? So you don't have to make it a psychic thing. You could just say, I feel like, so you could have told him, I feel like you'll be good in a few months. I feel like you're going to do a lot better. Like, you could just say that. Like, you don't have to go into that it's a psychic sense thing. We need to learn to live in the mundane world. Not everybody wants to know about our woo-woo. And not everybody will jive with it. That is for sure. So keep that in mind too. Oh, thank you. Stephanie says I'm an amazing storyteller. I love you, my darling. Thank you so much. Your parents, Jean, you said growing up, my parents told me all the time that I was psychic and to stop it. They said it's not normal and I shouldn't be this way and shouldn't tell anyone anything ever. Well, they were trying to protect you. I mean, we're not back in Salem witch trials, but they were trying to protect you because nobody likes a nosy Rosie. I have found that out many, many times. Okay, Anna, you're next. So, Anna, let's get your next few weeks. Okay, so here's the thing. You have there's something coming up that's going to be kind of busy, make you extremely busy over the next maybe 2 weeks. That's coming up right away. And then but you'll be able to handle it. It's not going to, be a problem. It looks like family or home will be affected. That'll make you super busy. And then you're going to get some really good news at work. It looks like I'm trying to see if it's more travel for you or something else coming up. But you're going to get that good news in about 2 to 3 weeks. And you're going to feel a lot better. So whatever kind of chaos is happening at home, don't worry about it. In other words, don't let it drag you down. Just push through it. And then, but your work is amazing. It's going to be going really good and you're going to get some really good news. And that will involve more travel for you. Isn't that great? Good news all the way around. They're not saying anything else. So I have asked, common questions, and I'm not getting anything else. They want you to focus on the really great things happening at work. Okay. Who keeps announcing things that you have predicted and said on social media? Who? Jean, I don't see where the beginning of that. Oh, Cancer was supposed to give you a rebirth. I'm glad you preserved. It's still here today. Yeah. Uh, okay. I'm catching up in the chat. So, is that Taurus person? Hmm. That's interesting. Um, okay. Regina, about to post this. Feeling good. Releasing and still grateful beyond knowing for my you're welcome. Please consider allowing me to share what I know about singing with you, if you will. Yes, you may. Okay. Sita. You're welcome, Ishika. Sita, my next cataract surgery is scheduled for this week. Still dealing with the inflammation in the first eye. I have until Monday to postpone. Go ahead. Yes, go ahead. Not a doctor, so this is not medical advice, but Spirit says go ahead. It's okay to go ahead with it. And it looks like they're going to double check from, the other eye too. So it's a good time for you to go. Okay. I think you're going to do really well with the second eye. And as a matter of fact, they may give you some medication or something to help the first eye. All right. You're going to be okay. You really will. I'm really happy for you. This is going to be a good thing. Okay. Jean doesn't understand what's wrong with her. Jean. Well, you're doing great. And I think, here's what I do. I'm going to give you another little trick too. So for when you get a psychic hit on someone and you don't know whether or not you should share it or whatever, or even post it or whatever, like ask Spirit if it's for you to post, if it's for you to share. Sometimes we get psychic hits and information on events and people and things around us because we need to know for our own sakes, but we don't need to be telling them. Okay. We don't need to tell anybody. And, for me, I don't share most of the stuff that I get from my guides for various reasons. But, it's important to have that kind of discernment when you're so psychic and so lit up. The other thing is there may be times when you don't want to be psychic, right? Like at big crowds and you don't want to connect with, you don't want to tune into all the energy around you and everything because it's overwhelming and you don't need to. So ask your guides to shut it down for the night at least, until you're through the event or whatever. To me, once I started doing that, now I have it shut down all the time unless I'm doing a reading. So I'm going to the store and living my life and not psychicking anybody in my life unless, it's something important for me to know. And then once I get that information, if it's important for me to know something that's going to happen or that's going to go on with someone, then I ask my guides if I should share it or not share it. And being super careful and discerning with my own psychic senses. And I suggest that everybody do that. Even if you don't think you're psychic, you're psychic. So you pick up on things, things about people, you get energy, you feel energies, you can feel how things are when you go to a different place and so on. You want to bubble yourself up, clear yourself, protect yourself, and only get what you need to know. Make a little deal with your guides because they could shut down your psychic senses. So when I'm doing these readings, I'm asking the guides. I'm not tuning into my intuition or psychic senses. I do that in private readings. because I want this to be just the guides, because the guides won't overstep boundaries, and they won't tell on you, and they won't get information you don't need to know, and they won't, nose around your business. And we're on a public forum, so I want to protect your privacy, and your spirit guides want to protect your privacy. So we're only saying what's okay to say in a public forum, and within integrity. Okay, so try to use that practice in other areas of your life as well, you know and that'll be really helpful for you. Okay. Okay, so your your love interest, Gene, he's been searching for a psychic woman, and he wants continuous proof it's real. Now you're opening another can of worms. You're welcome, Anna. Have a beautiful day, Anna. Okay. I'm going to tell you what Jesus said. Jesus wouldn't perform miracles for non-believers, right? Because you don't want to prove anything. And once you start proving something, your ego's engaged. So I don't want to prove to anybody that spirit's real or psychic senses are real. I don't really care what anybody believes. That's not my deal. I'm not influencing people to believe or not believe. That's not my deal. And that's also the same with spirit guides. So don't ever try to make, and this is a little off topic from what Jean said, but I just want to go into it just for a moment. If you don't think you have spirit guides, or if you want to prove you have spirit guides, and tell your spirit guide, prove that you exist, you'll hear crickets. And they will not do that, because they don't want to influence your belief system. Your belief system is your belief system. They're never going to try to interfere with what you already believe. And that is why people get limited amount of information from their guides, because they're not willing to believe what their guides could tell them. So you want to do your best to set aside belief and set aside disbelief, and just ask for help from your guides. And if you ask for help without an agenda, without saying, I'm doing this so that you can prove you exist, then they'll start helping you, and things will start lining up, and life will start becoming, having more synchronicities and small miracles, because you've asked them for help. And once you've asked them for help, they can help. But before that, they can't help. And if you're asking for proof, that's why God doesn't prove God exists. Okay? So God isn't going to prove that it exists. And atheists are like, well, I don't believe in God because, I've told God to prove it to me, and God won't. Because that's not how it works, And it's not that your belief makes God real, but asking for help from a higher power will make it real for you, for your consciousness, for your belief system, for your physical body will stop naysaying. So when I was a little baby psychic, I was trying to prove I had psychic powers to other people, and it failed miserably. So remember that, don't try to prove that you're psychic ever. It won't work. And that's why there was that fellow was really famous saying, oh, if you guess the letters in these envelopes, then, or the numbers or whatever in these envelopes, then I'll give you $1 million. The first psychic who can do that. Anyway, there's so many reasons why that didn't work. I heard a few psychics did, but he never paid out for some reason. Anyway. So, but the reason why is because your ego kicks in. I can prove it. That's your ego. Okay. And, so Gene, if you ever feel like I can prove it and I should prove it and he needs proof, no, it's up to him to believe it or not. It's not your job to make him believe it. And, Anyway, the other reason why, picking at random lottery numbers and things like that doesn't work is because Spirit's not interested in giving you that information. They have no desire to give you any information that does not support your highest good or help you on your path to your highest potential. And so if the lottery money is not going to help you on your spiritual path, then there's no reason for you to get it. And if you do get it, then it's going to help you on your path. So anyway, enough lecturing. My. I am full of myself today. Must be the new microphone. I'm feeling very lectury. Okay. Oh, hey, Marit. You made it earlier. Okay. From NASA. The decision to move has been accelerated. The houses of the market. Oh, that's exciting. Let me check in here. You need to have a plan going forward. I'm sure you do, but they're showing me being very grounded and methodical in your approach to selling your house and finding your next house. Make sure that you know exactly what you want and what you're going for. It feels like a really good time for you to do this. So the timing is right. But they want you to be organized and careful going forward. And don't make a decision based on anything other than getting exactly what you want. Like, be specific in getting your next house. So if you want 4 bedrooms, don't settle for 3 or 3.5 or whatever. If you want, 4 bathrooms, again, you want to be super specific in going forward with the house. Otherwise, you're not going to like the house. So the new house. So that's where you're going to have to be stubborn and you're going to have to be demanding. I would love to meet a stubborn and demanding NASA for sure. So be stubborn and demanding to get the right house. And you'll have that house for a long time and you'll really love it. It's quite I'm seeing a different type of place that you're living. I don't know how far you're moving away, but it looks like a very different kind of neighborhood that you're moving into. Okay, Asia. What do we need to know about the next couple of weeks? That girl. You're on a red energy, Ray. They're showing me you do really well in red energy, as you know. So things are going in your direction, but you do want to be a little more confident than you normally are. I mean, a little more aggressive, a little more pumped up, a little more excited than you feel to show yourself in a really dynamic way. Everything has to be great. Like, so, put all your energy into what you're doing work-wise, and it's going to come back. It's going to really pay off, in other words. And they're showing me like this over the next couple weeks, you're going to have this red energy. And think of red energy as vitality, passion, excitement, thrilling power of getting stuff done and, you know, being super dynamic. That's actually more like over the next 7 to 10 days. And then after that, you go into a calmer, easier, and then more abundant energy. So this next week is really go, go, go. And then it's like, okay, cool down. And then it's like, oh, the money's flowing in now. That's how it looks to me. So by the end of 2 weeks, you're going to be getting the money flow that you've been wanting. Okay. I hope that works out for you. I hope that's okay for you. I hope waiting is okay. Ishika, I wanted to ask with my lower back. See an improvement. Oh, good. Hi, Natalie. Okay. Ishika, I'm going to look at you. Well done. They're showing me you do need to, it's great that you had a great, a big shift. They're showing me cool energy around your lower back. I think it's your lower back. Anyway, that'll help to be gentle and, don't overdo it just because you're feeling a little better. Keep doing what you're doing, and you'll round the corner in another 2 to 4 weeks. I'm not a doctor. This is not medical advice. But it looks like you're going to do really well, but they're still showing me kind of babying it. Like, don't push yourself too hard too fast. Okay? Still be gentle and cautious. Good. Mhm. Yeah, go ahead and do that. Yes, Sita, follow up with a neuro-ophthalmologist and let your surgeon know that you're doing that as well and see what they say about that. Natalie. Hi, Janet. Thank you for sharing. You're welcome. Happy to. Happy to. It's always so fun. 50th birthday. Ooh. Here's my favorite one. I'm going to tell you my favorite practice for my birthday, and I tell everybody to do this. So, what I'd like you to do is the night before your birthday, when you go to sleep, make a little prayer, and you're going to ask your spirit guides to bring you a gift for your birthday. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll either know what the gift is or it will come to you that day. Something unexpected and delightful will happen on your birthday. And we'll see what that is. To me, that's the most fun thing to do, obviously. And we don't ask our guides near enough for help, for gifts, and so on. Excuse me. So I think it's a really great practice. You can do it any day of the year, but I think your birthday is a great day to do it, obviously. Okay. Good, Jean. People have free will and can do whatever they want with what I tell them. That's a good attitude. And as a psychic, I really had to get over being like customer service representative because it was really hard if someone didn't like what I said. I pretty much lost my mind over it. And so I had to really settle into I am just the messenger and it doesn't matter how they take it. I'm just the mailman. I just handed them a letter. If they don't like the letter, it's not my fault. So I'm not the customer service representative. If you don't like what's going on, then it's not for you or you don't need to, go any further with it, you can unsubscribe, even though that would hurt. But you don't have to like what I say. Okay. I feel somewhat called to be in solitude on this birthday, which is different for me. I usually like a big celebration with loved ones. It's really good to, have a little time of rebirth. You know, we do go through a birthing every year on our birthday, and sometimes we just need to draw in our energy and give us time and space to nurture ourselves. Oh, Stephanie, I'm so glad Nasa asked. She is very welcome. That girl, I'm going to say, you need more water. And you will naturally feel it. You don't have to pump it up. They're saying you're going to feel a lot more energized by Monday, Tuesday. So you don't need to do anything extra to pump up your energy. But they are saying that you always could do with a little more water. And you're welcome, Natalie. I think I'm all caught up in the chat. What do you know about that? So, whoever wants to ask a question, now's your moment, because I'm actually caught up. And if I didn't get you, and you posted and I missed it, please repost it and I will answer. So, ooh, resort with hot springs. Oof, that's going to be fabulous. How very nice. I'm happy for you, Natalie. That's lovely. Happy birthday. Okay, anybody else? I'm so glad we have a good group today. What a wonderful gift. We have like 8 minutes left. And if there's nothing else, you can always ask a question about working with your psychic ability, working with your spirit guides. I have a million ways to do it. So, Marit, yes. Okay. Oh, good. Regina. Yes. Okay. All right. So, Marit and Regina. So, is your daughter okay or sad? So, Marit, I can't read anybody without the request, knowledge, and permission, but I can ask the guides what you need to know about your daughter and see what they say. Marit, I want you to take a breath and close your eyes, even though I'm sure you love looking at me, but close your eyes and take a breath. And I want you to ask your guide to give you a feeling of what you need to know about your daughter. And just see what feeling comes over you. It could be a physical feeling or an emotional feeling. Just breathe with that for a moment. Just breathe. Your guide is right there with you and is giving you a feeling. So, releasing some worry from your mind, your mental field. Releasing some tension in your body. Just breathe. And placing their hand on your heart. Your guide is placing their hand on your heart. And breathe. All is well. She's doing well. I want you to feel that she's doing well. So you can release your worry. And when it comes up again, you can ask your guide again to help you release your worry and to let you know that all is well. You will know if something is not well, and you will be guided how to act. Trust that. You're very much an empath. He's showing me that you have, I think your guide's masculine, so I'm saying he. That you have a lot of empathy, that you're very much an empath and you feel things very deeply. So trust that feeling, trust that knowing. Okay? I hope that helps. Now take a breath, and we're complete. Okay, Regina, are you on track with your healing on your foot? Let's see. Okay, Marit, we're not going to nosy into her energy field, but what I'm getting is a feeling of peace. So you're trying to reach to her. So what you're doing is using your empathic ability to connect into her to see how she's feeling. We don't want to do that. We want to pull it back, and you want to ask your guide what you need to know about her. And what I ask the guide what you need to know is that that there's a peaceful energy around her, so there's no distress and there's no worry. And your guide wants to help you with releasing the fear or the worry that you have around her well-being so that you can be present and not exhausted if there comes a time when she does need you. So right now, your guide is giving you a lot of healing and soothing energy so that you can release that attachment to worry. Because if there was something that you needed to know, you would know it without even reaching for her, without trying to tune into her. Okay? Okay. Okay. Yes, you're on the right track. It looks like, Regina, it looks like you're doing some. Are you doing some physical therapy or something? If you're not, you may want to look into it, but because it looks like it's about movement and strength right now to get it back into healing. I mean, you could obviously do some other things, but it looks like you need to focus on movement and strength. I don't know if that's what you're already doing, but that's what they're suggesting. So I hope that helps. I mean, you could ice bath it and things that are really excruciating, but it really, I see someone helping you with movement and strength in the foot. That's going to help you out of this difficult part of the healing. Okay. Hi, Lana. Good to see you. Okay, you're welcome. That girl. How did your recent procedure go? Hmm. Um, it went well. I'm trying to figure out what part of your body, but the guides aren't showing me. So, whatever it was is good news. It's good that you did it. And I don't see any problem with it. So, looks like you're healing well. That's all I know. Good news, though. That's what they're saying. Good news. So I don't know what kind of procedure you had, but it's a good thing. Um, okay. Another one from NASA. Okay, good. Regina, I'm really glad that you're getting help. Yes. Ask your friend what you need to do to strengthen your foot. Okay. I'm not a doctor, and that's not medical advice. Okay. Just so you know. Ton of stuff coming up that's increased visibility for me. I work closely with someone who's more performative than mine. Ah, okay. Okay. Let's see. Give them the spotlight. This is what the guides are saying, and I don't know how you feel about that, but if they want the spotlight, hand it over. In other words, don't compete. Um, they're not, you know, I don't know if it's that they don't have enough, they don't have more experience, and there's something that's performative is a really good word. In other words, but um, it's a little bit hard because you think they might get credit for your work, but they won't. And it's better to kind of allow them to do that than to try to stop them. And also, don't compete with them because there's no competition. Everybody knows what's what. Let your talents shine, your knowledge shine, your abilities shine, and you don't need to do more than that. So stick with it. Stick with what you're doing and don't respond in any negative way to that person. Okay. I hope that helps. Okay, let's see. Yes, Natalie. Um, I would ask the guides to make sure that you're in spaces where you'll meet your people, to give you hints and ideas and everything along the way, because that's one thing they're really great with is inspiring us. So if you say, where can I go to meet new people? And you just throw that question out there. You don't have to wait for an answer. Just throw the question out there and then see what comes up for the next few days. What kind of ideas come to you? You don't have to go through with all of the ideas. You don't have to follow through with everything that comes through, but pick and choose ones that feel really great for you. One thing that happens when we ask guides for inspiration, we can get like 10,000 ideas. And that can be confusing and overwhelming, especially if you think that, you have to follow through with what your guides say. You don't, you just pick and choose. So ask them to help you find your people and they'll inspire you where to look and what to do and get you in the right place at the right time. And that's good. Oh, thank you, Nasa. I'm so glad. You deserve all the best. And I believe that with all my heart, that you are an incredible gift. And the more you allow those gifts to shine, all the good things are coming to you. I believe that, and I see it. Your psychic said so. I think we're going to wrap up. I'm going to finish up with Angelica and, or Marianne, sorry. And then we are going to finish. And if you'd like to send a tip or tell me how great I am or troll me on the internet, you're welcome to, because all attention is good attention, right? So like I said, we're wrapping up, so I'm going to go ahead and put these here. And I want to thank you for sharing and liking and subscribing. Whew, it's been a lovely day for me. Thank you so much. Okay, Marianne, I'd like to know if my crush likes me back. Ooh, and we'll get together. I haven't felt this safe around a man since my father passed away. I'm sorry for your loss. So I'm going to ask, and but so guides don't tell on people, so they're not going to tell us what your crush thinks of you, okay? But they're going to help you figure it out. So one way to know, and I don't mean to, this isn't really a game, you're not playing mind games or anything, but pay attention to how often they reach out without you reaching out. Pay attention to how often they want your attention. That's how to know. And that's the best way. And so sometimes people do like to play games, and sometimes people like to pretend that they don't like someone, so they won't reach out first, or they won't do the thing, they won't call back, yada, 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 right? And if that's the case, then that's somebody who is not for you. You need somebody who's completely honest and straightforward. You need someone who is not hiding anything, right? You need someone who is clear about their intentions or what they want, things like that. You need somebody who's really straight and narrow. And so what the guides suggest is that you sit back and wait and see if they're reaching out to you a little more than you are reaching out to them, if they are wanting your attention more than, a normal, more than a friend would, then you know. But if that on the surface of it, on the face of it, is not working, if they're not doing that, then you need to go find somebody who will, or call them in. Because you can't, your energy, your personality doesn't tolerate ambiguous people. So you need someone who's going to be straight up with you. That is the message. I hope that helps. And I know it's not what you asked, but it's what you get. And I'm not your customer service agent. So there. Anyway, thank you all for coming. I'm very grateful for your questions and for your participation. Oh, good. Well, you're going to find out, Marianne. You're going to find out. Like, just be patient. Just be patient. Just keep letting it roll, my love. Okay? You're welcome. Okay. All right, everybody. See you next week. I hope. Have a great week. Good luck with your surgery. Sita, if you're still here, good luck with your surgery. And everybody else, everything you're working on, may you be blessed a million times over. And we'll see you in a week. I'm very grateful for you being here. Thanks, Jean, for having my back with the chat. Love you all. Take care.